This week's question is from a woman who wrote in who's really clear on what her dream is, and she's really passionate about it. But she lives on an extremely fixed income, and she's raising her daughters on her own. And she doesn't have the money to be able to afford the kinds of programs, like my programs, like other people's programs, that would help her get the support and tools that she needs to bring this dream to life. So she's feeling very frustrated. She's getting really angry because she's feeling held back because she doesn't have what she needs to move forward. And that is really, really painful and really frustrating and a really difficult situation to be in. I totally, totally feel for her. Also, in general terms, if you're not in a situation like that, we often do find ourselves in situations where we want something outside of us or something in the world to change before we can bring our dream to life. So it's like we start to see that as the only way forward. So in this case, this woman is feeling like the only way that she could bring her dream to life is to have one of these programs that she can't afford. And so now she's like stuck because she doesn't have the support and the tools that she needs to grow this dream on her own. So the important thing to remember here is that there is always a way to move forward now. Any voice that tells you that you have to wait for something else to change before you can do this, that is an inner critic voice. That is a saboteur. That is some kind of scared part of you that wants to keep you from moving forward and is doing a very good job if they convince you that, oh, this has to change first. Meanwhile, you have no control over that, so you can't work on changing that, and you're stuck not being able to do anything, which is hugely frustrating. You know, as this person wrote, she's feeling really angry about it, and of course she is. Of course, when you know what you want to do and then you can't do it, it's awful. And so the answer is always to kind of disengage from that pattern where you're looking at this is what I want and I can't have it, and come back to yourself. Remember your own power. Remember your creative magic. Remember that you have infinite creative potential. I made a video about that. I'll link to it in the blog post if you want to review that one. And remember just that you can do anything. And the obstacles, I know the obstacles are big and the obstacles are real and the obstacles are difficult to get around. But your creative potential is much, much greater and much more powerful than any of those obstacles. There is a way, it's just not that way. Okay, if you absolutely can't afford to take someone's program, then that's not the way that you grow your dream right now. So you have to stop looking in that direction and start looking first inside at your own strength and abilities, and then start finding ways to start taking small steps right now. Because the question she talked about, how having those kinds of tools and having those kinds of programs would give her the support that she needs to stretch her comfort zones and make this happen. And that is absolutely true. But what you can do on your own is take smaller steps and start moving towards it, and then new paths can unfold. The process of bringing a dream to life is all about creating your unique path to that dream, and you are always in a position of being able to create the next steps on your path. Check in with yourself and find out what is it that you need to take your first steps. So if you're saying, I need these programs, what are the qualities that would give you? Is it support? Is it guidance? And then focus in on those qualities as being the things that you want to create first. So if I want support and guidance for my dream, then that is my first dream. This is what I'm going to start taking baby steps towards. And I'm going to start to research and explore what does that even look like for me? What are all the ways that I could get it? Try to come up with 50 different ways that you could receive support and guidance, if those are the qualities you're looking at. Come up with 50 different ways that you could receive them. Bring your creativity in, bring your imagination in, and then you come to a place where, okay, now I have support and guidance. Now I can look again at that bigger dream and figure out what my next step is and go step by step by step. You can't do the whole thing all at once. And it's always easier, especially when that big one is far and you can't figure out how to get there. It's always easier to break it down into something smaller, look at what's the next part. Because as soon as you've taken a few steps, it's easier to see the end. It's easier to see the next steps. You don't see that whole path all at once when you're starting. So bring it in, just look at your next few steps. What can you do to create more of what you need to help you to move forward? You can do this, I promise.